Lesson 5-6, Inequalities in two triangles and indirect proof. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to use inequalities to make comparisons in two triangles. Theorem 5.13, hinge theorem, states that if two sides of one triangle are congruent to two sides of another triangle, so for example, Vx, RT are congruent to each other, VW and RS are congruent to each other, and the included angle of the first triangle is larger than the included angle of the second triangle. So this would be the included angle. So this will be the first triangle and it's larger than the second one. Then we can say that the third side, which is WX here, is longer than the third side of the second. So ST. So we can say WX is greater than ST. Theorem 5.14. The converse of the hinge theorem is the exact opposite. If two sides of one triangle are congruent to two sides of another triangle, so we say CB is congruent to FE, and CA is congruent to FD, and the third side, now this time it's referring to side, not angle, of the first triangle is longer. So we're saying AB is longer than the third side of the second, so AB is longer than DE. Then the included angle, which is C, of the first is larger than the included angle, which is angle F. I'm going to write angle C here and then angle F here, of the second triangle. So again, measure angle C will be greater than measure angle F. In example 1, given that segment AD is congruent to segment CB, how does angle 1 compare to angle 2? You're given that AD is congruent to CB, and you know that BD is congruent to DB by the reflexive property. So I switched these letters around so that it would be more, it would match the points better. So because 34 is greater than 33, we can say AB is greater than CD. So two sides of triangle ADB are congruent to two sides of triangle CBD, then, and the third side of triangle ADB, which is this one, is longer. So by the converse of the hinge theorem, we can conclude that measure angle 1 is greater than measure angle 2. Example 2. Part A. Car A leaves a mall and heads due north for 5 miles and then turns due west for 3 miles. So it goes 5 miles north and then 3 miles west. Car B leaves the same mall and heads due south for 5 miles and then turns 80 degrees toward east for 3 miles. So when it makes a turn, it forms an 80-degree angle here. So it makes 100 degrees here. And for car A, the included angle will be 90 degrees. So which car is farther from the mall? Use linear pairs to find the included angles. So when car A made the turn, it formed a 90 degrees on the outside. So the included angle will be 90 degrees for car A, and for car B will be 100 degrees. So because 100 degrees is greater than 90 degrees, car B is farther from the mall than car A by the hinge theorem. Because the included angle of 100 degrees is bigger than the included angle of 90 degrees, so the distance here must be longer than the distance here. Now we have another car C that leaves the mall and goes 5 miles due west. 5 miles due west. And then turns 85 degrees towards south for 3 miles. So then it turns 85 degrees due south, and this is about 3 miles. Write the cars in order from the car closest to the mall to the car farthest from the mall. So now we need to find the included angle of this triangle. So this would be 95 degrees by linear pairs. So for car C, the distance will be in between car A and car B, because the included angle is between 90 degrees and 100 degrees. So I can write car A, car C, car B. How to write an indirect proof. Step 1. Identify the statement you want to prove. Assume temporarily that this statement is false by assuming that the opposite is true. Step 2. Reason logically until you reach a contradiction. Step 3. Point out that the desired conclusion must be true, because the contradiction proves the temporary assumption false. So let's look at a very straightforward example. Example 3. Write an indirect proof to show that an odd number is not divisible by 6. Given x is an odd number, prove x is not divisible by 6. So to begin an indirect proof, for step 1, we need to assume temporarily that x is divisible by 6. This means that x divided by 6 equals n for some whole number n. So multiplying both sides by 6 gives x equal to 6n. Now we need to start to reason logically until we reach a contradiction. So given that x is odd, by definition x cannot be divided evenly by 2. However, from step 1, we stated that x equals to 6n. And if we divide that by 2, it works. But we know that 3n is a whole number because n is a whole number. So x can be divided evenly by 2. But this contradicts. See, our contradiction here is the given statement. The given statement that x is an odd number. Step 3. Therefore, the assumption that x is divisible by 6 is false, which proves that x is not divisible by 6. And we will continue more indirect proofs in class.